Da 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 da.
Community radio, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a disgruntled bookseller and a retired professor. Their continuing mission to seek out strange new books. To explore like-minded people who also hate Amazon and Jeff Bezos. To boldly go where no booksellers have gone before. We're live. It's the Red Book Show, coming to you across the globe on Wexford New People's Movement Radio. I'm Wally O'Neill, and with me, my co-host, Steve Unicky.
I'm your number one, right?
You're my number one. God.
You're Captain Wally.
Oh, no.
Let's not have an argument on there.
We're also joined in studio tonight by, I guess he's the ambassador then, isn't he?
He's the ambassador.
Tony Bergen,
yeah.
Head of Wexford New People's Movement Radio, Director General.
Well, he could be the science officer.
He could be the science officer.
Science officer. No.
We're going to be joined later on tonight by our special guest, Phil Hughes. And why we're talking about Star Trek and all, Steve, I guess, is that this weekend, the Otherworlds Science Fiction Festival arrives in Wexford.
It's coming near to Wexford, you bet.
2 days, Steve, 2 days, and we kick off. So we're going to have a lot of references to science fiction and horror and fantasy tonight. And we also have a very, very, very special competition. So the Otherworlds Festival is going to be launched on Friday night in Wexford Arts Centre at 9 p.m. by Owen Colfer, a world name, a Wexford guy done very well, creator of Artemis Fowl, the person that was handpicked to continue the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, an absolute legend.
Yeah, and right here in Wexford.
You can join us there on the night. We have 2 free tickets to give away, and all you have to do, dear listener, is text in our chat line. Tony, what's the number again?
089-417-9972.
So 089-417
9972.
9972. If you WhatsApp us in when myself and Steve just suddenly break into a scene from Star Trek. So you're going to have to listen to the whole show and see. You never know when we're going to do it. So, Steve, let's go to book news.
Okay, before that though, I've got some radio news.
Radio news?
Yeah, I'm going to be going to another station, Wally.
What?
On Thursday. Yeah, I'll be going to Dublin South Community Radio,
oh my
FM.
God.
I'll be on drive time starting at 3:00.
Drive time?
Yeah. They put me right at the top.
They're sacked.
What am I going to do?
I don't know. Well, I'll come back next week, so you'll be all right.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think Raymond can get in here.
Well, seriously, I'm actually going to be on
Brilliant.
Dublin South Radio at 3:00 on Friday because Paul Wright, our colleague here at the station, is going to interview me for an hour about my writing, about Farewell to America, and about war stories. It's going to be a great program. It's going to be spectacular. And
Brilliant.
It'll conclude next Monday at 11.
That's great. I'm looking forward to that myself, Steve. And maybe we'll be able to get the rights and replay it here at some stage.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Paul could probably arrange that.
Brilliant. So let's go to book news, and we have a jingle for book news now. New jingle, state of the art. Tony has spent a lot of money on this.
Oh,
to avoid copyright. Yeah.
Right.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
Book news.
Book
news.
Book
Everybody's
news.
looking for book news.
Wow. I get paid for that.
Yeah.
So, starting off with our old friend, long-time fan of the show, Jeffrey Bezos. Amazon director and general all-round bastard.
Jeff F. Bezos.
Jeff F. Bezos. And here's a quote from Jeff this week. If we starve our data infrastructure of cooling resources just to sustain baseline human comfort, we are actively delaying the birth of a superintelligence that could solve all our resource problems in the first place.
Yeah.
But there you go.
It's incredible. He wants to just reduce people to only drinking water, and
Only
perhaps
drinking water.
like maybe they can take a shower once a week or something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
forget about watering your lawn. Forget about all these other uses of water that you might have. Maybe forget about washing your clothes, maybe.
It's absolutely crazy. You
It's
know, when I
nuts.
was growing up, Steve, we used to be warned about the boogeyman. But now, I think myself and people I know warn our kids about Jeff Bezos.
He's
He
out
could
in the
sneak
open.
in the night and steal the bottled water out of the fridge.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. The Amazon data sites consume 2.5 billion gallons of water globally in 2025. Now, the Meta campus just outside Waterford, not so far away from here, pulled in 900,000 cubic meters of water, more than any other site in the world, proving that these guys are turning Ireland into their little tech bro hangout. You know, kind of what happened to Cuba in the 50s with Batista.
It's just going to be a water resource supply point, and I've been reading in the economics literature for a long time by the wiser people who look far into the future that the water needs of humanity are definitely going to be a concern because the population grows, and you've got to provide water for all these different additional billions of people.
It's absolutely amazing, isn't it? It's absolutely
it's insane.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
We are told by our politicians, by our scientists, that we have serious water shortages. We're told that we have serious environmental damage. We're warned about the effects that cows and sheep, their gases are having on the environment. But yet Jeff Bezos can come in and scoop up all the water out of the water basin.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
1,000 airplanes can leave Ireland a day.
Yeah, I just don't know how long are we going to swallow this absolute nonsense for.
Sure.
These guys have now came in and they effectively own the economies. When do we say that democracy is finished and that these guys are now in control? Isn't this what all the great sci-fi warned us about in the last century?
Or when do we just tell them no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in other news, Salman Rushdie was in Dublin last week for the Dalkey Book Festival, and he had some interesting quotes to say. Here's one. Across the world, we are in danger of becoming a people who cannot communicate with one another. What happens when language does not work anymore? How do we function? Those are wise words.
Yeah, great questions, and I'd say we lose our common sense. And we lose our ability to maintain our language. It takes work to maintain our language. It takes work to be sort of educated so we can talk to other people about different subjects and so on.
Yeah. We have a message there. Where do people comment on Facebook on the radio page? Yeah, well, you can comment on New People's Movement Radio, or you can comment on the Red Books page. We have something up there as well. Or you can just WhatsApp us at 089 417 9972. Just back to Rushdie. In that interview, he went into great detail about the difference in words that we would have taken for granted for many years, like freedom and rights, and how they mean something completely different to some people than they do to others, and especially now when you see Trump using the words freedom.
Yeah, I mean, when I was teaching ethics in America at the university I taught it in Missouri, I would basically suggest to my students that freedom is not just getting everything that I want. It's basically looking out for the rights of other people, not just yourself.
Yeah.
And that takes common sense factor to understand that whole issue.
Well, Rushdie called on writers. He said how important they were going to be, especially in this growing age of AI, this growing age of misinformation and lack of personal freedom. He said the future will be what survives of us in words, in stories, in histories. So it is an onus on writers now to write, pick up the pen and write.
It's a big responsibility we got to follow and got to take on.
Now, according to the ALA, friends of yours, Steve, in America, I think the American Library Association.
What's happening with them?
According to them, 2025 marked the second highest level of book censorship attempts ever recorded in history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they say what the first highest level was?
I would presume that may have been in the 1930s.
Or the Inquisition or something like that.
Yeah.
Burning days.
But here's the top 5 most challenged books in American schools and libraries in the last year, Steve.
Yeah.
So starting off with joint number 5, we have a young adult book about 5 troubled teens, which plays with the narrative very much like the way Trainspotting and things would go from different narratives or some of Rob Dial's work. It's called Tricks by Helen Hopkins. And then joint with that is Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe, which is also young adult, a story of lesbianism in 1950s America. So both of those are joint to number 5. Number 4 is Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, young adult and fantasy fiction.
There seems to be a pattern.
Incredible that's there as well. Number 3 is called Gender Queer. Number 2 is a classic. It's been around so long, Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Wow.
And number 1 is a book called Sold by Patricia McCormick, which is a fictionalized account of a young girl, I believe she may have been in Iraq, who's sold into sex slavery, something that it might be a fictionalized account, but something that's very much a reality.
Yep.
And those are the books that are top on the banning list at the moment. So incredible.
It is.
Incredible. So Steve, before we go on, I think we have to go back to Mr. Bezos and his attempt to steal the water out of our fridge. I know that Mr. Price are doing deals on padlocks, so if you can get a chain and put it around your fridge tonight and maybe put a couple of padlocks on it, because he's a sneaky one, Bezos. He might come in with the wire clipper. If you have a dog, maybe you could train him to bite Bezos and just put a picture up or something so he'd recognize him. But I don't know, Steve. We're going to talk about our first interactions with science fiction and everything now. But when I was a kid, and you know the way when you're a child, you come across something, it'll resonate with you and it'll stay locked in the back of your brain for many decades to come. When I was a kid, there was a program on TV which was made in Australia and distributed by the BBC, I'm sure, called Girl from Tomorrow. And I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I don't think I've
No, it was
seen
made around 1988, 89, I'm sure. And the basic gist of the Girl from Tomorrow is, that keep in mind it was made in Australia. So the basic gist is, in the year 3000, humanity are going through somewhat of a utopia, but it's only in the southern hemisphere. The northern hemisphere has been wiped out in an event called the Great Disaster, which happened in 2500, and during a terribly lawless time. And during this lawless time, governments had more or less collapsed and corporations had taken over, particularly one which was called Globe Corp. And Globe Corp was pretty much running the world and could do whatever it wanted. It was allowed to fly drones, and they actually used the word drone, and this was long before drones were available to the public.
Existed,
so it could spy on people, it could stop people from accessing finances, it could do all sorts of things. And so in the year 3000, they had developed a time machine, and they decided to go back to 2500 to see if there was any way they could change the events and save the Northern Hemisphere. But a warlord there called Silverthorn kidnapped the girl who was running the time machine, came back to the future, wasn't able to do anything there, so he kidnapped the young girl, Alana was her name, and went back to the year 1990, where he could use his knowledge of the future to basically take over the past. Now, the thing that always resonated with me when I was watching that as a kid, I was probably 9 or 10, and even then I thought, this is good, but it's a bit far-fetched. Corporations can't take over from governments, you know. And it turned out I was completely wrong, because Jeff Bezos and Larry Page and Elon Musk and all these other total pricks now basically control our economy. They control the economies of all the nations that we would consider free today. So it's the great irony, I suppose, of our time that the so-called free nations are the ones that aren't free at all.
But they think they're free.
And possibly the only ones that weren't controlled by them are the likes of Iran and places like that still have resources they can control.
Yeah.
But that's why I thought of the girl from tomorrow today. So we're going to talk a lot about sci-fi tonight, Steve,
right,
and we'll get back onto that later. But first, let's have a piece of music. So we're going to have a song from Ian Mocka Maloney, a Wexford town legend, also a writer. He wrote a great book called Bastard Boy. And the song is We're the Loneliest Souls.